Before we begin, I have one small request. Drop a comment below if you dare. Tell me your deepest fear or just share your thoughts on what's about to unfold. But beware, once you comment, you might never be able to forget what you've read. Are you ready to step into the darkness? Let's begin. The Whispering Shadows. It was a quiet evening when Lily first noticed the strange noises. At first, they were faint, like someone whispering, just out of earshot. She thought nothing of it, figuring it was the house settling, or perhaps the wind playing tricks on her ears. But then, as the days passed, the whispers grew louder. Every night, as she lay in bed, they seemed to call her name. Soft at first, barely a murmur, but then louder and more distinct. "Lily," the voice would whisper, followed by the sound of feet dragging across the floor.
She was no stranger to the paranormal. Her family had always lived in old houses, and she had grown accustomed to the odd creaks and groans that accompanied them. But this was different. These whispers were not of the house. They were too alive. One night, unable to take it anymore, Lily decided to investigate. She grabbed a flashlight and crept through the darkened hallways, her heart racing in her chest. The house was silent, save for the occasional groan of wood. But then, just as she reached the kitchen, she saw it. A shadow, a long, thin figure, darted across the wall, disappearing into the darkness. She froze, her breath caught in her throat. She was certain she hadn't imagined it. The shadows weren't just shadows, they were something else, something far worse. Her mind raced as she tried to make sense of it. Had it been a trick of the light? Was it just her imagination running wild? No, she knew what she had seen. The whispers returned, now louder, more urgent. "Lily, come closer." Against every instinct in her body, Lily took a step forward, drawn by the eerie sound. As she stepped deeper into the hallway, the air grew colder, her breath visible in the dim light. The shadows on the walls seemed to twist and stretch, moving in unnatural ways. Suddenly, the flashlight flickered and went out. In that instant, the whispers stopped. Silence hung thick in the air, so heavy it almost suffocated her. Then the voice came again, but this time it was right behind her. Lily. The breath on her neck was cold, far too cold. She turned quickly, but no one was there. Panic surged through her, and she bolted for the door. But as she ran, the shadows stretched toward her, wrapping around her legs, pulling her back. Her heart pounded, and she screamed, trying to break free, but the shadows only tightened their grip. One night, as she sat alone in her room, the door creaked open, slowly, deliberately. Her heart raced, but she didn't move. The whispering grew louder, now a chorus of voices, all calling her name. Lily. She slowly turned her head toward the door. The shadows were there, standing just beyond the threshold. But now, they were no longer silent. "Come to us," the voices urged. "We've been waiting for you." Lily's mind screamed for her to run, but her body betrayed her. Moving forward toward the door, toward the darkness that awaited, the whispers grew louder still, now filling her ears, her mind, her very soul. As her hand reached out to touch the door, the room plunged into complete darkness. The last thing Lily heard was a faint, cold whisper, "You're ours now." And then, nothing.